So are these signs different for like young adults than like grown-ups, adults?
I think they would be because I think by and large, by the time a grown up or older adult, they've probably been in their addiction flow for a long time. It's
Mm,
not often, addiction typically happens in the younger years, although you can have addiction start later due to a trauma or things like that. But they're going to be
yeah.
farther along in their addiction, so the signs in a young person will be more subtle.
Mm,
And when we think of the young person, we really need to. It really comes down to the that young person's friends and parents,
mm,
and kind of recognizing, something's a little off. And but one thing we know about addiction is, especially in young people, it's a secret, right? We may not try to tell our
yeah.
parents or things like that. And so
Mm,
one of the things I think about, in particular for parents and the young adult, is that the parent needs to communicate to their children very clearly that kind of no matter what's going on, you can come to
hmm.
me. I may not
Yeah.
agree with the behavior, but I will always be on your side. I will never
Mm,
judge you. I will only love you. That type
yeah.
of thing. Where
Okay.
um, so if the kid goes and in college, had my first drink of alcohol in
Mm,
college or whatever, maybe that should be the discussion of the weekly call to your parents. Oh, I just want to let
yeah.
you know. I know I'm not 21, but I just had a drink of alcohol.
Mm,
This is what happened. And sharing
yeah.
that experience and being open and knowing that again, your parents may not uh, agree with a behavior or whatever, but they'll always support you.
Yeah.
And especially in addiction, that's what people that have addiction need. They need
Mm,
someone that won't enable them, but will support them because it's a
yeah.
journey.
Yeah. I think yeah, like a good circle around there, I guess, of people to that they can talk to.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So uh I guess uh this kind of ties in. So how can like one offer help? Is like any direct way or just simply supporting them? Yeah.
I would say if you're thinking, so I guess I've already talked about kind of the parents' role. If they're your friends, I would say the most important way to help is to not enable behavior.
Mm,
So let's say you're in high school, you're in college, your friend is
yeah.
drinking, let's say just drinking, and you know that it's a problem or it's an issue. You can say, well, I know you're going to go to this party, there's going to be drinking, you know, you be you, do what you have to do, but
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not something I want to do.
Mm,
Or so you're not enabling it versus the person that say, "Oh yeah, I'll come with you to the party and
mm,
let's have a good time." That might be seen as enabling.
okay.
Or in college, you don't buy the alcohol for the friend or
Mm,
the family member. If they're going to do
yeah.
it, if the family member is going to do, they'll buy the alcohol themselves, right? They'll buy the
Mm,
cigarettes themselves,
yeah.
and you still support them. You don't say, "Well, don't." We can't control people's behavior. Don't buy that alcohol. You can't control that, but what you can control is yourself and not
Mm,
enabling that.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah.
It's
Uh,
important. I want to say this. It's important to don't um, poison the relationship you might have
mm,
with that family member or the friend, right? Uh, Putting ultimatums, oh, I'm not going to talk to you, or I'm not, you
mm,
know, um, that never helps as far as treatment of the addiction. You may not, you may
yeah.
have to not be friends with someone because of their addiction might be affecting your
Yeah.
life or something. But if it's a family member, it becomes more touchy, and you have to um, just be gentle with that relationship.
Mm.
And
Um, so are there any um policies or guidelines that as a doctor yourself you would introduce into the government or society in general, I guess.
That's a big question because,
Yeah,
as
I
we know,
guess.
we have marijuana policies changing. At the same time, the government's really cracking down on opioids prescribing for hospice patients.
Mm,
Um, we know that. So the issue is, we know that people that have substance abuse, of all the people in the U.S. that have substance abuse, less than 10% of those get treatment. So
mm,
the government needs to do something that will increase the access and the person's willingness to get treatment.
mm.
10%, less than 10% of those getting addiction, that's a low number.
Yeah.
The other thing we know is, the 18th Amendment in the 20s for
Mm,
prohibition didn't work, right?
mm. Yeah.
So we've already been
So,
through that experiment.
yeah.
But, so I think, um, abstinence of drug and alcohol, that works. That's one
Mm,
tactic. But the government needs to have certainly policies that promote treatment.
mm.
Say that one
Would
more
you
time.
say would you say like hotlines and like those phone numbers that they advertise, do you think those are good resources for people?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And there's a whole line of other resources out there that number just so many organizations in a
Mm,
local county and in statewide that provide mental health treatment,
mhm.
um, medications that will help prevent relapse.
So overall, just to bring it all together, what's one piece of advice that you would give to people, especially young adults, about addiction and drugs in general?
You know, my overall advice would be, eh, my overall advice really for addiction and preventing addiction in young people really is, I think, to live with a purpose.
Mm,
Do whether it's living for your family, volunteering, a job. You guys are going to maybe go off to college or trade school. Maybe you just get a job, whatever it is. Live with a purpose, and so that
mm,
purpose really becomes your addiction. And so this thing that people need an escape or trying to treat, again, their pain, psychological, physiological, whatever it is,
mm.
you're not going to need a drug. You're going to go to that
Yeah,
thing that you have.
yeah.
And then
I
I
mean,
wouldn't have any worry about anyone
mm,
if they do that. I wouldn't have anyone worry about anyone becoming addicted to
yeah,
substances.
yeah.
Live with that thing that you can't live without would be your family or your job
Mm,
or whatever it is,
yeah.
and that can take the place of whatever whatever drives people
Mm,
to addiction.
yeah.
Again, that's not all the time, right? Some people have real
Mm,
problems, and so if you
mm,
have real problems, you need obviously get counseling, get the help you need.
mm.
But you also have to fill your life with purpose.
Yeah. I think that's a really good piece of it. I think that's all the questions I have. Uh, but thank you for your time. It was really great talking.
Yes, and good luck with everything. And I look
Thank
forward
you.
to hearing from your aunt about your journey. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.